Okay, we're seeing it for what it is. Trump wants to put himself on the $250 bill. I guess he pressed the Bureau of Engraving and said, "Hey, I want y'all to put me on a $250 bill," and he will be the first living person to be on the bill in 150 years. The United States has literally turned into exactly what we called China, North Korea, Cuba, Russia, all of that. Authoritarian, well, the authoritative, I can't even say the word. Damn, I'm so messed up right now. It's become worse than the communism that they say these other countries have. It has become total control, kingmanship, monarchy, whatever word you want to use. It became that. The oligarchs, which are the rich folks, control the country. It's very, very, very obvious. And is anybody doing anything? No. They're doing things just like me. Making videos to spread awareness. It's really it. No actions. That's all. For me to be self-aware to know that, who am I? Only people with power can fight other people with power. I'm not a billionaire. I don't have billions of dollars. I don't have any military control. I don't have any of that. So this is where the First Amendment actually protects me is as we can speak about it. We can speak about it. So this is actually the correct way to use the First Amendment. Not to be a bigot, like we've seen other people. That does not protect you against personal people. It protects you to where you can speak about what's going on with the government. You cannot agree with certain things that are going on. So we could look at this. This is what Trump wants to look like. This is what he wants it to look like. Not necessarily want it to look like this, but this is just a mock-up of him on the dollar. This is what everybody is making, and this is from Washington Post, which is owned by Jeff Bezos. I'm being real particular about who I'm saying owns it because a lot of that stuff matters because they don't all agree with each other. And as we saw with Jeff Bezos lately, Jeff Bezos actually has been, speaking about, taxes and saying, the lower half of the United States, he's like their tax money only does 3% of the entire GDP of what we collect. He said it kind of does not matter why we're collecting money from people who make $40,000 a year or even under $70,000 a year. Why are we collecting money from them? So he sees that, he knows that, and he understands that, like, okay, they will have extra money. They will have extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month to, spend money on Amazon products, but to do what they need to do to have a better quality of life. And he understands that there's too much greed for him to be one of the richest people in the world. At least he understands that concept of, hey, man, if we still want our positions to be these rich oligarchs and all of that, we still have to please the people because there's billions more of them than there are us. They're the people that wait our food, that there are our waiters. There are people that fly our planes. They are the people that make our food, that grow our food. They are the people that run everything that we cannot run. Our electricians, there are plumbers, there are babysitters, they are our teachers. So we have to take care of these people. And Jeff Bezos is kind of ringing an alarm to the rest of the billionaires. Like, I think some of us need to get our head out of our ass because this could be very, very problematic. And he's like, this is simple math. We should not be charging these people anything. We shouldn't be taxing these people, should I say, because this is putting more stress on them, and stress and desperation can make people do crazy things. They also understand that the average person does have more access to them than they think, because what if you're overtaxing the people that are your security, and they can't hang on tight because you're not paying them enough. Or if their cousin is going through it, or someone that they love is going through it because they're overtaxed and something's happening to them, and then they see their family, and you're like, hey, boss, listen, my cousin's sick with cancer, or my wife or my sister is sick with cancer. They don't have the insurance that they need, and I can't necessarily afford it with my salary. Can you please do something? And you're like, no. This person knows your every move, so they tend not to think that, and that's where the Bane for the scene from Dark Knight, was it Dark Knight Rises? Is it Dark Knight Rises? I want to say that Dark Knight Rises. Well, the scene from the Batman movie with Bane, where he told him, "I paid you a small fortune," and then Bane put his hand on his shoulder and told him, "Do you feel in charge?" It's one of those type of situation where money doesn't matter because now people care about just their family. And like I said, Jeff Bezos is ringing alarm and saying, "Hey, other billionaires, I think we're getting a little bit too greedy here." think whatever. But to go back into the whole thing with Trump and Trump putting his face on the $250 bill, one that signifies hyperinflation, because why do we need a dollar amount that high for purchases? That is insane. That's like when you see these bills in Venezuela, $1 million bill, $10,000 bill, and you see these in these countries that has hyperinflation. We're following in that path because why do we need a $250 bill? Yes, you could say, hey, it's to commemorate the 250 years, the United States has been incorporated. We could use that word, incorporated, because everybody knows the United States is a corporation. Hopefully everybody knows that. But, they could say, okay, well, this is to commemorate the 250 years or whatever. Cool, you can say that, you can get that off, but we also have inflation where that $250 bill will be used for purchases due to the fact of things costing so much. Because now breaking 100 means nothing. I can't even remember the last time I seen somebody actually just say, hey, I need to break this 100. No, you're spending it plus more. Most of the time, you're gonna see somebody spending 100 with 100 with a 20 or a 50. Or just $200 if they're buying anything of significance. So yeah, that's bad. But it's also insane because, movies have something called predictive programming. So what predictive programming is basically, they kind of have to tell you exactly what's going to go on. So they tell you in entertainment and movies. If anybody's into the whole Galactic Federation thing and all of that and universal truth, that they have to tell you the truth of what's going on so you can properly prepare for it and you can decide if you want this to happen or not. So saying that to say this, the movie has already told you this type of thing, and specifically that Donald Trump was predicted in early 80s and 90s, especially in movies like Back to the Future. In a movie like Back to the Future, there was a character named Biff Tannen. And Biff Tannen was the bully. He was the bully that was throughout the movie, whatever. And in some way, he ended up getting rich. And the way he was getting rich, they basically modeled him after Donald Trump. And we can actually prove that because you can see it in the movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Biff Tannen Museum, dedicated to Hill Valley's #1 citizen and America's greatest living folk hero.
So they basically,
the one and only Biff Tannen. Inside, you will learn how Biff Tannen became one of the richest and most powerful men in America.
Somebody
how in 1979, Biff
from the future definitely made this
and turned Hill Valley's
for sure.
Courthouse into a beautiful
Definitely.
hotel.
So I gotta pause it a little bit, to let it, because we don't want to get copyright for the full scene and everything like that. But somebody from the future definitely said, hey, this is what's coming. There's alternate realities, and this is one of them that you guys are gonna end up living in.
I just want to say one thing. God bless America.
The women who shared in his passion as he searched for true love, and relived Biff's happiest moment as in 1973 he realized his lifelong romantic dream by...
And it's like almost this is his life. like they're telling Donald Trump's life. It's crazy. It's bananas how they're doing this.
Marrying his high school sweetheart, Lorraine Baines McFly.
Third time's a charm.
And this is Melania. So hold on, man. Let me go ahead and get off all that. So to actually read it, it says the character Biff Tannen in Back to the Future Part 2 was intentionally designed to resemble and parody Donald Trump. The screenwriter Bob Gale confirmed that when Biff transforms into a wealthy, untouchable casino tycoon in an alternate 1985 timeline. The filmmakers directly modeled this ambition, aesthetic, and gaudy style after Trump. That is on IMDb, y'all. On IMDb, they specifically told y'all exactly what's going on. They say, yeah, we modeled Biff Tannen after Trump, for sure. And they have to tell you the truth. Like I said, with universal law, they have to tell you the truth. And they told the truth about this in the 80s, early 90s. They said, hey, man, this is what's coming. This is what part of the script of the United States. And it happened to the T. And now look, he's on the money. And that's what he wants to be on. That's all for today. Y'all be easy. Catch you on the next one.